Hey everybody, I just wanted to make a quick note and let y'all know that this was in production towards the end of January, but a lot of things happened in life and my PC started dying on me, so I had to push this out with what little energy this PC that I'm on currently has before my new one got here. Like, as I'm recording this, the new one gets here today. So there'll be some out-of-date information in relation to my computer specs in the video, but everything I say in it is still true about the computer that it was recorded on. Also, I do make reference to numpad notation from fighting games, this right here on screen. So if I say the words 4A, you know this is what I'm talking about. Just wanted to make that clear, and I hope you guys enjoy the video and all future content coming forward on the newer computer.
Where are we?
We're stopping off at Affinia real quick. I want to grab something.
But I swear we have a card from here already. What could we be missing?
We're missing a very specific card, as well as something else. What's up, everyone? I just wanted to talk about this game for two reasons. A, this came out on my birthday, and B, I've been blitzing through it in the background and having a ton of fun reliving good memories. The game in question is Tales of Graces F. To give you a rundown, Tales of Graces initially came out on the Nintendo Wii in Japan on December 10th, 2009, and Tales of Graces F came out on PS3 a year later in Japan, and then for Americans, March 13th, 2012. The remaster is essentially the perfect version of the game. I say perfect in quotes since there are a few DLC costumes missing in the game, which really gets me since I love the looks, and there's like other reasons behind it. Like, let's just look at these. Like, we have Haseo Asbel, like as in Haseo from Dot Hack, to a Code Geass set. Like, oh my god, I need this so bad. And Sophie as Miku. You have to understand, I would die for Sophie. But now, the world is hers. You know, just forfeit all mortal possessions to Miku. And now in this case, you forfeit all mortal possessions to Sophie. It is what it is. These DLC costumes being missing are weird, since I'm sure the Dot Hack and Hatsune Miku licenses wouldn't be hard to renew for the game, especially since there's a costume where Sheria is dressed as the singer of the opening of the game, and I'm just kind of sitting here like, how, fam? The opening song for the game never changed, so it's kind of weird. I don't know. Maybe they just didn't feel like renewing it and getting that back. Probably using her likeness, who knows. But I can also see how something like Pascal as Toro would be next to impossible to get back given the multi-plat status of the game. Who knows? Maybe these will be modded back in over the PC version, which is what I happen to be playing for this video. So let's talk about that performance. As a rather low-end PC gamer by modern standards, I mean, just look at my footage for Ninja Gaiden 2 Black. This shit is pitiful. I have seen this game look beautiful, but oh my god, this looks awful. This game runs pretty damn well for what I have. The specs I have in my PC are on screen now, but like I said, it runs well for what I have. This is a tweak and upscaled PS3 game, so I can't be too shocked. The PS3 was a nightmare to develop for, but for some devs, they managed to make it work, and this game is an example of it even on an original PS3. The remaster, however, is running at a smooth 60 FPS in and out of combat with crisp and clean visuals. I've seen others say they've dealt with stutters in the overworld, but hey, PC gaming isn't a universal experience, so results may vary depending on your rig. The only time I really got any stutters was when I got audio stuttering during an anime cutscene, and that was just due to me tabbing out and trying to check something and animating a message. And outside of that, I could definitely say the voice acting is still good and holds up.
Well, do you remember where you've seen them?
Oh, I got it. Peaches look like little buds.
Huh?
Especially Sherry.
Okay, time out. Sophie, we need to talk.
Asbel, why do you wear such white clothes?
Oh, these? Well, let me think. Oh, I know.
You are late.
We are honored to be known by one of the Guardians.
It seems you've traveled the length and breadth of this world.
How could you know such a thing?
I watched you from here.
And the lack of a shit ton of load times, especially because I'd be running this off of PS3 initially, is much better. Honestly, I'm glad the game holds up so well visually with a little upscaling and doesn't lose that lovely charm it had back when I first played it. Speaking of playing, let's talk about the key factor of this game, the gameplay. For those of you who don't know, the Tales of franchise are action RPGs that use the Linear Motion Battle System, the LMBS for short. The LMBS changes from game to game, but the core idea of instance combat with its own unique quirks remains the same from game to game. The version of the LMBS used in Tales of Graces F is known as the Style Shift LMBS. I'll be calling it Style Shift going forward. The Tales of fanbase considers this version of the LMBS to be the best in the franchise. I'm somewhat of a contrarian and believe that the Tales of Exilia duology has the best version of the LMBS, but that's a discussion for when the eventual Exilia duology remaster happens. Most likely after the Tales of the Abyss remaster happens, given that it was trademarked recently. Anyways, back on topic. The Style Shift LMBS is the core idea of the game. Style Shift uses CC or chain capacity, A-arts, and B-arts, and of course shortcuts like any other Tales of game. A-arts are a branching path combo system that changes depending on your direction held and the amount of CC you have. So for example, if you have 10 CC, you can do a full chain like so. While on the other hand, B-arts are more like your traditional customizable Tales of arts, where they use the different directions of neutral, up and down as the shared input instead of left and right, left and then right as individual inputs for your settings. B-arts in general have a higher CC cost than just pushing A to do a 1 CC art. Which, small thing by the way, I use a controller resembling an Xbox controller, this right here on screen, and the game by default had A-arts mapped to B and B-arts mapped to A. That shit is just gross by default, like, ew. I immediately changed that shit to the A button being for A-arts and the B button being for B-arts. No. Anyways, that aside, this is pretty varied and interesting, but where things open up is when the characters themselves come into play. All your party members feel so distinct and unique to a point where I believe Tales of Graces F and the Exilia duology still, by gameplay alone, leave a large majority of not only action games, but action RPGs as the subgenre in the dust because of how much player choice and expression is available.
Yep, more expression than DMC2.
Why are you like this?
You know the exact reason why.
With all the character options on hand, you can mix it up how you want. Or you can mix by whiffing your 4A and getting clipped with a Mystic Art for it. No, I'm not joking, as you can see here, because what the fuck was that, Malik? Actually, on the topic of bosses and enemies, I played this game on hard and then evil for the rest of my run, but jeez, what the fuck? I must be bugging out because why the fuck does every enemy and boss on this difficulty have Iron Stance, the Tales Up equivalent of Super Armor, on attacks and spellcasts? Like, look at this shit! And then there's the first phase of the final boss, spoilers by the way, I'm warning you like right now, where he did this! This motherfucker tried to mix me! Bitch, this is not a fighting game! Damn, now I'm thinking about it, I'd really like a new Tales of fighting game.
I'll just write this game idea down for later and we can turn it into a video.
Oh, shit, thanks. I'll definitely get working on that later, maybe? Who knows. Moving on from there, I genuinely do not recommend playing this game on hard and evil because of what I went through. I don't want someone's first time experience with this game being ruined because of bullshit difficulty moments like that, where it's less challenging because of skill and more bullshit because you legitimately couldn't counterplay the game deciding you weren't allowed to play the game at that moment in time. I wouldn't wish that on my worst enemy. God, I shudder to think about what this game would be like on chaos difficulty. Honestly, this is only my real criticism of this LMBS, and that's no air combat and the Elith gauge. The lack of air combat to me is just kinda eh. I love air combat in my action games. Adds another layer and dimension to what you're doing. And as for the Elith gauge, it's this thing off on the left that'll fill depending on which side is doing damage. Either taking, doing, you know, normal fighting game shit, but the problem is that when the enemy gets the Elith gauge filled, it then allows common enemies to go into overlimit, a Tales of state where you essentially have functional Iron Stance until your meter runs out. And man, when regular enemies get it, it just feels like a slog. You might as well just start running away from them. And then bosses, you explode because Mystic Arts can happen. Seriously, it's not a fun time when it kicks in there. Now, my criticisms about the difficulty and combat aside, honestly, this is a damn good remaster, and it gives me hope for future Tales of remasters in the line. I can definitely say we're going to be eating well going forward with these Tales of Remasters, especially when we get to that Exilia duology. Oh, I can't wait for that Exilia duology, man, you have no fucking idea. But until then, I've been Wandering Sosuke,
And I've been Wandering Arisu.
and watch y'all to have a damn good one, and stay gold.